In the MCU, everyone from Tony Stark to Loki, Thor to Peter Quill has daddy issues, and these literally affect the entire universe.
You should have gone for the head.
Today I'm going to tell you about the most painful father-son relationships in the MCU. Are you ready? Tony Stark and Howard Stark. Tony Stark, genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist, but also a son whose father was never there for him. You remember Howard Stark, right? Captain America's biggest fan, meaning he was a fan of someone else, not his own son. Howard's real character. We saw Howard in the Agent Carter series. Charismatic, fun-loving, a flirt with the ladies. He even had a gold diamond bracelet called the Stark Special made for each girlfriend. Peak playboy energy. But after Tony was born, he completely changed. Cold, distant, workaholic. That scene in Iron Man 2? In Iron Man 2, Tony finds his father's old video recordings. Howard looks into the camera and says, "Tony, you are my greatest creation." You will literally cry at this scene, because Tony spent his entire life thinking his father didn't love him. But the truth is, Howard loved him so much that he developed the arc reactor for his future. Then 2019 comes, Avengers Endgame. Tony time travels to the 1970s, and there he encounters his father, before Tony was born.
Hey, pal. Oh, yeah. Looking for Dr. Zola. Have you seen him?
Yeah, the Dr. Zola. No, haven't seen a soul.
Howard talks about pregnant Maria. Tony talks about his little daughter, Morgan. And Howard says, "A daughter would be nice. Less chance of her turning out exactly like me." That scene changed Tony. He forgave his father. He forgave himself. And finally, he was able to put on the Infinity Gauntlet and sacrifice himself. Peter Quill and Ego. Star-Lord, a child who lost his mother at 8 and was kidnapped by aliens. He wondered who his father was his entire life. Then, in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, his father appears. Ego, the living planet, a celestial. And at first, it seems amazing. He teaches Peter his powers, bonds with him, as if the father figure he'd been searching for his whole life had finally arrived. But then we learn the truth. Ego wants to transform the entire universe into himself. He calls it the expansion. And for that, he needs another celestial, meaning Peter. Even worse, Ego has thousands of children from different planets, and he tested them all. None showed celestial power. So what happened to them? There's a giant pile of bones on Ego's planet, and then that horrific confession from Ego's mouth. Peter asks, "You said you love my mother." Ego, "Yes, I did love her. I loved her so much that I knew if I returned to Earth one more time, I would never be able to leave again. So I did what I had to do. I put the tumor in her head." Peter loses it right then. He shoots Ego endlessly and says,
You killed my mother! I tried so hard!
"You killed my mom." This scene is literally the moment when a child's entire dreams are shattered. His father is a monster. But plot twist, Peter's real father was Yondu. Yondu had been hired by Ego to collect the children. But when he saw Peter, he didn't hand him over, because he sensed something.
"I'm sorry I didn't do none of it right. I'm damn lucky you're my boy."
What?
And at the end of the film, Yondu sacrifices himself to save Peter. His last words, "He may have been your father, boy, but he wasn't your daddy." Peak emotional moment. Yondu was never perfect, but he truly loved Peter. He's the real father. Ego was a manipulator. But what if your father can't show his love? Thor and Odin. This relationship is also low-key complicated. At the opening of the first Thor film, we see young Thor and Loki. Thor says, "When I'm king, I'll hunt down monsters just like you did." Odin replies, "A wise king never seeks out war, but must always be ready for it." Thor doesn't understand this. He wants to be a warrior. He wants to be strong like his father. Then, as Thor is about to ascend to the throne, frost giants attack Asgard. Thor gets angry and attacks Jotunheim against Odin's orders. Odin's reaction? He exiles Thor to Earth, takes away Mjolnir, takes away his powers, and says,
"Whosoever holds this hammer, if he be worthy, shall possess the power of Thor."
"Whosoever holds this hammer, if he be worthy, shall possess the power of Thor." For Thor, this is devastating. He thought his father rejected him. But then Thor changes on Earth. He learns humility. He learns to protect others. And at the end of the film, when he talks to Odin, he says, "I still have much to learn. I hope one day to make you proud. You've already made me proud." This scene is literally the best example of how fathers can show tough love to their children. In Thor Ragnarok, Odin dies. But before he dies, he says to Thor and Loki,
"I love you, my sons."
"My sons, I love you." Literally a sentence that sums up everything. Odin wasn't perfect, but he loved his sons. And Loki? His story is even more twisted. Loki and Odin. In the first Thor film, Loki learns he's a frost giant. He learns that Odin took him from Jotunheim as a baby. Loki freaks out. He yells at Odin, "Why did you raise me with such a lie? Am I a monster?" Odin, "No, you are my son." But Loki doesn't believe it. He thinks Odin only used him for peace, never loved him.
Tell me!
I thought we could unite our kingdoms one day.
Loki tries to destroy Jotunheim to impress his father. He uses the Bifrost as a weapon, but something changes in Ragnarok. Before Odin dies, he sits with Thor and Loki in Norway and says, "My sons." He looks at Loki. Loki looks at him. In that moment, Loki understands. Odin really did love him, despite everything.
"I love you, my sons." Look at that.